bans. In the first game, it will be the Kalista again. Will they have the luxury of banning the Victor will be the question. Alistar was banned out by SKT. Instead, they're going to take away the Corki, so they may want to first pick the Alistar here. GP up, Lulu up, Alistar up, so something is going to find its way into the hands of SK Telecom.
Yeah, they'll get something good. So what's the last ban going to be for SBENU? What's the biggest threat to take away? The Victor, can't really argue with that.
Well, they leave up 3 of the big picks then, so if they want the GP... Now remember, GP fell all the way through the draft in the last game, so no one wanted to take the early game hit by going for the Pirate, but Lulu still available here for SBENU. I don't know if they want to do that again, though, because Sassen, even though he was a bright spot on his team...
Yeah. Clearly, you got to take the Graves away from Benki, man. He's just too aggressive. He's just too aggressive on that Graves.
I think Benki will be happy just to get the Elise this game.
He can take the Rek'Sai, too, if he wants. I mean, he's got 2 picks that he's very comfortable with, so they will take the Graves Lucian. And there's Lulu for Faker, and Bengi will presumably go with the Rek'Sai. I mean, it's a great pairing along with the Lulu.
It's going to be one more time to protect the Bang composition. How many tanks can we get for Bang's Blue Ezreal? It's going to be a lot.
I think so.
Why not just Tom Kenshin again, the top side? Whatever.
Wouldn't be surprised. I think they might wait to see what the top lane pick is going to be for SBENU.
Ezreal, Tom Kench.
Yep.
Well, SBENU, are they going to take the Fiora this time, knowing that the Poppy is lurking? Sassen's been playing a lot of Jace this season.
Duke could take the Fiora as well. I mean, Lulu ult onto Fiora when she dives in is just as good. You could go something like Fiora Ezreal, but we'll see. Poppy Jace would be pretty interesting. Poppy Bard.
Holding off, I think.
Yep.
On that mid lane pick. No need to take it quite so early. And like you said, Fiora definitely a possibility, GP a possibility.
Yeah, so that may actually be a top lane Lulu too. The GP locked in, I mean, it can go either way. They can kind of swap Lulu and gangplank around wherever they feel the matchup is best. And Bang can go with the Ezreal, he can go with the Tristana. I think the Ezreal's maybe a little bit better, but they're going to go with the Tristana.
I'm actually, yeah, that's an interesting pickup. We don't usually see Tristana picked unless there's a Kalista on the enemy team just for the lane matchup.
Yeah.
But it is a huge reset composition, and the combination of Lulu with GP, so basically if GP can get a good chunk off with the barrels to start a fight, Tristana will just keep resetting with Wild Growth forever. So it can be a good opener. You land that one barrel, and then Tristana just rips through the enemy team with rocket jump after rocket jump immediately thereafter.
Well, it'd be cool to see Sassen's Vel'Koz, but I don't know. And it's going to be the Zillion. All right, saw some Zillion yesterday. Looks like we're going to see it again today.
Saw some Zillion yesterday, now Sassin Zillion today.
Yeah, pretty close, yeah.
Well, it's another dive composition. This is what we see around the Zillion. Usually that Poppy Zillion combination, just so you can get in deep under the turret. And everybody with those dashes except for Bard. Obviously this would be better with something like Alistar, but the Bard allows you to set up a lot of dives because you can basically just Tempered Fate the turret and then just dive them super easily.
Yeah.
And there's no defense to that. If you land a couple of those bombs, hit the tower with the Tempered Fate and follow up on the stun with everybody else. So I like it. It's another interesting solution. We are going to see Faker play the mid lane Lulu in the end, and Duke will be in the top side on the gangplank. So pretty much every SK Telecom game we've seen Faker be on the GP, but not this time around. And
yeah,
that Zillion not going to have such a great time. I think they may have thought that Duke would be playing the Lulu, which is reasonable to expect, but it's just such a great flex pick for SKT that they have the luxury of just having the Lulu there in the mid lane. Makes it very difficult for the bombs to actually land because she has Whimsy, so good dodge, and has the shield too.
Yeah, not to mention a good amount of poke.
Yeah.
as Lulu always has, which Zilean has a tough time responding to if his bomb's on cooldown.
Yeah. Also, just the wave clear. Some of the successful Zillions have been autoing the turret early, not so in this game.
That's right, SK Telecom looking for the 2-0. Let's see if they get it.
Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while
And we're back once again for perhaps the last time tonight. SK Telecom versus SBENU, a very solid win for SKT in game number 1, and it's hard to imagine that it would be any different here against a team like SBENU in game number 2, but Sasan bringing out something we haven't seen from him before in the Zilean, and we'll see if SBENU can dive well enough to make it work. A little bit of brawling in the early game here. Bengi actually gets caught by the Celestial Binding. Bengi goes down. First blood goes to Secret. Faker in a lot of trouble now, trying to get away. Bang comes in, pops that Summoner heal. Faker gets double kill for Secret early on. Oh, this is already my kind of game, Monte Cristo. Secret getting bloodthirsty.
Wow, what a collapse there by SBENU on the early invade, and Secret making the plays with that Ignite. Great Cosmic Bindings, and you have that Bard at level 1 can be really powerful if you're running the Thunderlords on him. He's getting those empowered auto attacks, and that's going to be a big play there.
Wow.
Great binding, and then of course the AoE from the bomb hitting, great flash from Sword, just wonderful setup.
And then Secret asks Faker, do you want to build a snowman? Faker says no, but he's like, all right, then die. Look at that, flashing for it, I love it. That's how you play Bard, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, SBENU is going to start this game with 1,000 gold advantage in the pocket, and that will be absolutely fantastic. The sad thing is, and you will disagree with me, Doa, Secret actually, he got both those kills.
That's not bad at all. Hey, everybody else got assists. They can't complain. Sasan even got 2. But this is an incredibly powerful dual lane for Wolf and Bang to deal with now.
Yeah, SKT might have considered lane swapping against that, but I think that at least with Duke, he'll have an easier time farming against Poppy than he would. So I think they're saying, okay, well, we're going to take the hit in the early game, just have Bang and Wolf underneath the turret, concentrate around the top side of the map, and then see if we can just get this GP into the ultra late game superpower zone.
Superpower zone. Ooh,
that is
Bang.
the official terminology for it.
Ultra late game superpower zone.
That's right.
It's way too long for an overlay. See if we can make it work. We need to shorten it.
I'm getting all my terminology ideas from anime now.
Why not?
Just as long as flowery as possible.
Gotta get hot-blooded. So you just have to make a speech about why it's the greatest thing ever, you know? And at the end, you just say, who the hell do you think I am? Oh, Sasan, revenge of the Faker here, but Faker is going into a 1v3 now.
There's no flash, remember, but...
Yep, but there is a magical journey. Faker's...
Can he see Faker?
Going deep.
Oh, yeah, he can.
Yeah, he definitely can.
Faker is now
Where's
on
that Whimsy cooldown? He's got no mana.
a quest for suicide.
Quest. Oh, so close to that Cosmic Binding, and there's the... Yep, Flawless got that with the flash. Flash auto will do it.
I'm actually really surprised that he wrapped back around into the turret for
Me too.
the self-kill, because if you look, Duke was all the way pushed up in the top lane. Duke actually could have made a move through the tri-brush.
I mean, he could have. Soar might have contested that, and I don't know what the Graves Poppy matchup is at this level, but yeah, you'd think he would have at least tried to
He can
go
walk
for
into
it.
the jungle. He could have done that. It looks like
Well, just tilt them.
Faker could have perhaps escaped from that. He's now in the land of double Doran's rings. He didn't give the opposing mid laner a kill or even an assist. So there's not a lot of extra gold saved from the large CS lead that Sasan managed to pick up, but Faker will recover some of that off of this minion wave.
Yep. But pulverized, and here
Flawless.
comes Flawless, taking the magical journey and banging Wolf on the run.
Yeah,
Scoop
big
his way
minion
through that
wave
one.
there, so they can't actually fight it amongst all the caster minions. Yep. Especially with all there's both flashes from Nuclear and Secret still down. They were not going to win that fight. They attempted to follow up, even with Flawless there.
They're really desperate to make a play on Sassen in the mid lane. He's got no flash, and so they can knock him up here.
Wow,
Faker
that
can't
was
chase.
a terrible flash.
Yeah.
There was just no follow-up. Faker has no ignite. He has no flash. You're not going to actually be able to secure that kill.
It's a unusual amount of desperation from SKT. I mean, yeah, your early game went really bad, but just stay calm, you know?
Yeah, look at how Duke is doing. He's doing great in the top lane. Why not just play passively? You're playing Lulu in mid lane. Just sit there and let Duke carry on the GP late. He's already got the advantage. He's successfully pressuring. So there's no need to lose your head and start trying to make very difficult plays, especially against a Zillion who can just hit E and zoom his way out.
Yeah. I mean, Faker's keeping up in CS as well, so it's not quite as frantic as it needs to, or as Faker and Bengi are kind of making it seem right now.
But this advantage that SBENU already has is going to be great for diving into mid game, and that's where they're really going to have to make their plays. Around the Chrono Shift and around the Bard ultimate so they can actually pick up kills.
Zor goes into the ult onto Duke. He's going all in, but here's Flawless to help out. Duke trying to back away. He's behind enemy lines now, though. Flashes around the wall. Nobody coming up to really help him. Maybe he can make something happen to Zor, but no, there's a flash. Zor picks up that kill. SKT down 4 kills to nothing already.
Yeah, you know, he had the wards in the river. He thought he was safe enough, but Zor just ties him up, and Flawless is able to get around through the lane and make that play. Duke not going to be missing out on too much CS, looks like. Well, maybe about half a wave. No TP available for him right now.
It's going to hurt.
1,500 gold the lead.
I was going to say, yeah, that's a pretty big gold lead already for SBENU here in the early stages of the game. And could all turn around, but not a good start for SKT.
Fortunately for them, they have the tools to make it in the late game. As long as they can survive the mid game against the Zillion dives, if they can just keep SBENU spread out and farming and not grouping for turret dives, by the time they reach the late game, they just have so much disengage, because if the dive comes through, they have an ulting Alistair, they have a knockback from Tristana, they have Wild Growth, they have just the barrel zoning from Gangplank. So it's going to be super hard to dive this composition, even with a Zillion. So if they can just recover this deficit, SK Telecom still has a very good chance of winning this game. And the longer this laning phase goes, the better it will be for SKT.
I don't think they're too worried about it just yet. Bengi on the run, or on the kind of crawl, I guess, with Rek'Sai.
On the swim most of the time, but on the crawl right there.
On the wriggle. Remember there used to be an item called Wriggle's Lantern?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. Junglers were on the wriggle all the time.
They were just wriggling away.
Yep.
Poor Regal's Lantern. And Madrid's Blood Razor, never forget.
Yep. Is Atma's Impaler still in the game?
No.
That was way gone.
Some of the worst items.
Poor Heart of Gold.
That was one of the best items.
Yeah. Poor Philosopher's Stone. Rip items.
So many items coming and going over the years.
Now Flawless coming right now to the bot lane. Nice tempered fade on the Bang. They caught him. Wolf trying to defend his AD carry. Secret flashing ahead, gets the slow. Bang turning around, pushes back Nuclear, and it looks like he may be able to make it out. He will. He'll use that summoner heal in the end, along with the flash, but at least they'll survive.
That was actually a preferable trade for SKT. They got knowledge of the jungler. They got 2 ultimates out and 3 summoners in return for 2. So when the dust settles, Bang and Wolf definitely not in the worst position. The Temper Fate came a little bit early. Flawless wasn't quite in position to follow up on the stasis, but he is in position to go ahead and take this dragon.
Yep, guess so. Baker coming down to try to prevent this from happening, but
I mean, attack a pink
you
ward?
can, yeah. You have to just attack the ward instead. So first dragon of the game also goes to SBENU.
I know we're seeing these time bombs here at the blue buff, but the real time bomb is in the top lane, Noah.
That's true.
That's GP,
Yeah, Duke.
who remains stubbornly ahead and now has a teleport advantage as Soar is forced to come and collect this wave close to his turret. And here comes Faker and Bengi for a dive.
Yeah, well, dive is coming, no flash on Soar right now, and there's a GP ult. Should be an easy kill, and it is. Bengi picking up that one.
They make the counterplay. They know everyone's a dragon right now. Faker decides to turn around as he understands what's going on and just immediately walk into the top side. The wave is already ready for the dive, and Soar is in the rough situation where he TPs into his own death as he collects that wave, so gets a little bit greedy, starts panicking because he's down in CS, and now he's going to be punished for it even harder. More money for Duke. There. Oops, and get one.
Missed it. Needs to get those silver serpents, man.
Gotta stack him up.
Yep, gotta stack some serpents.
You know, he's a pirate and he's collecting like doubloons. I don't understand why they're serpents instead of some sort of sea creature.
Maybe it's a water snake. Could be.
I've never heard someone call a water snake a serpent before.
I don't know. Well, any snake can be a serpent.
I know, but it's just in common use.
Maybe anacondas. There's a snake that spends a lot of time in water, right? Some silver anacondas.
I don't get that one.
Silver anaconda sounds something more like you would name your car if you're like a really rich, insecure person.
Something, I think there actually is like a sea monster on the actual coin too, which...
Yeah, it's a kraken.
So why is it a silver serpent? The kraken is on the damn coin.
I don't know. Silver kraken just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nice.
We could have copper krakens.
Yeah, but copper really isn't worth as much.
Well, I mean, Gangplank needs like 500 of those things to play an ult upgrade, so
Hey,
I would argue they're not worth very much already.
Well, he's upgrading a ship, you realize.
Oh, okay.
This takes a lot of money, man. He's not just like buying a new gun. He's upgrading an entire galleon.
He's pimping his ride.
That's right. Because X wouldn't give it to him.
Gotta use his own money to pimp that ride.
That's right. I mean, you got to think about the other, like silver serpents make sense. If you're looking at other sea creatures like, I don't know, platinum penguin doesn't sound quite as threatening, right? That doesn't sound like something a pirate would collect. That sounds like something a girl in kindergarten would collect. Platinum penguins. Yeah, I think silver serpent works just fine. Although there's no serpent. On
No,
the coin.
it does not work just fine, Noah.
Chrome Krakens.
There you go, the Chrome Kraken.
Now that really sounds like a car that an insecure rich person had. I'll pick you up at 8 in the Chrome Kraken. You know what I say when I turn this baby on? I bet you can't guess. And that's when you get slapped, basically.
Wow,
Oh.
Baker dodging.
Yeah, man, dodging all the skill shots. Both bombs. Tempered Fate doesn't land either. And this is the day you almost caught Faker. Well, you caught him with that bomb, but you
He's
missed
got
with
shield.
both.
That's the thing, if you don't hit him with both bombs, and it's incredibly difficult to do with the Whimsy, you're just going to end up having the shield absorb that damage. And Faker just going for the fast Morello and Amacon in this game. Sasen has the Rod of Ages constructing, but not really having any AP to burst through the shield yet. Now Bengi is going to take away this Rift Herald as Wolf going to use his trample passive to farm in the mid lane.
Yep.
Faker's actually going to get the buff. That is, we almost never see that going to a mid laner.
Well, we'll see how much use he can put to it. I mean, the thing is I suppose whatever helps him stay alive a little bit easier.
Well, you know what, Doa? SKT has a gold lead now.
Yeah, they do.
After that turret.
Oh, Wolf has to pop his ultimate to stay alive. He will stay alive, though.
Well, so much of that gold lead is just his GP. Duke has been running off the rails in the top lane in spite of his death.
I don't know what this is going to be all about, man. I mean, SKT with a gold lead of 15 minutes. Weird stuff.
In spite of having 4 deaths in the early game, including a double kill right off the bat.
There's an easy flash taken from Soar.
Yeah, did use his head of his W up to block any kind of dashes in from Bengi.
Yep.
But they're going to get so much damage on this top turret, and Sword just can't do anything right now.
He's so far down in CS too.
They're going to try and dive the bottom side. Wolf does not have his ultimate.
Yep. Oh, Wolf, nice knock up. Nuclear manages to get out of it though. Faker drops his ult.
Duke's
and
coming.
Here he comes, or rather, not Faker. Duke drops his ult. Faker helps get the easy kill on the Nuclear. He's going to flash over the wall, going in onto Flawless. There's a Whimsy. Easy to kill a defenseless squirrel. Haha.
Lulu is so sadistic. She turns people into cute animals and then executes them.
Because it's easier. They don't fight back as much.
You know, that's usually a trait of a psychopath, though.
I know.
Cruelty to innocent animals.
Yeah, the cruelty to animals at a young age. Yeah, somebody needs to put Lulu
Faker-
on a watch list here.
Like, Lulu is actually so evil that instead of killing a conscious champion, she will turn them into an innocent creature in order to be even more vicious in
know.
the end.
Well, if you've read Lulu's lore, you'll realize that she's actually totally insane. It's a very sad story, really. SK Telecom takes their first dragon, but Lulu like wandered off into the forest or whatever, got like sucked into the pixie world somehow, and then when she came back, she had been changed by magic, and all her friends and family were dead because it was such a long time. So she was insane.
Uh-oh.
Faker. Wild Growth, can he survive? No, he can't. No.
Bomb stun.
No. Yep.
Fortunately, the bomb stun, he gets caught out. No flash after trying to flash over the wall there into the tri-brush to pick up the kills. 1, 3, and 2 here for Faker. And Bengi has to go prop up the mid lane turret. There's just not a lot of damage there to take it down. And
Hello.
Secret need some damage. They're still working on it though. They do get the stun with the double bomb onto Bengi. Flawless there. Try and just provide the necessary auto attacks. Nice job.
Yeah.
They're going to get the turret. Very well done.
Well, he just turned bomb dodging into a permanent minigame for Bengi there. You couldn't really do anything about that turret.
Oh, big mistake. That's a huge blow as they give SBENU a window back into this game with a lot of gold as well as control over the mid lane when they had gone up to a 2-turret lead. Gangplank still massive, however, and completing a Trinity Force now as well as his BF sword.
Yep. Bengi just heading right back up to top. Let's try to defend that turret a little bit more. And Bang has been keeping up too, so will be a threat later on, probably. Pew pew.
Pew pew under the turret. They're trying to finish this off. Have enough zone here. Flawless is doing a great job of actually just moving from lane to lane and making sure that they get the objective kills to get them back into this game. That's the second one in a row that he's helped out just with using their Graves range to make a big difference.
Sausage bombs have been really good this game too. He's hit a lot.
Everybody dodge the bombs. Wolf is here.
Yeah, Wolf is here. And Sausage got his flash though, so not a big serious situation. Ooh, Tempered Fate just whips completely.
Baker just barely on the outside of that one.
SKT, I mean, as long as they keep playing safe, they are probably still okay here, but SBENU doing as much as they can with this little opportunity.
Yeah, it's tough though. The gold lead has been seesawing back and forth, but SBENU has not made the most of that early game that they had, and they kind of just let Duke farm in the top lane. He's the worst person to have that happen. So now he's getting closer and closer to the edge, and Sassen.
Duke drops Gangplank out, Sassen on the run, and he's still got that flash, so he's totally fine.
Trying to kill him so they could actually take this mid lane turret, but they have to turn onto the Rift Herald instead now as a consolation prize. Zillion just too fast.
Yep. Get this right before the Rift Herald is going to go down. Looks like.
There it goes. So Duke is going to get it and start a split pushing mission into top lane.
Yep, it's about time.
Back to glorious wave clearing. SBENU, this is the time where they have to really start thinking about actually trying to dive turrets or force some more objectives, because that's the way that you actually win with this composition. I mean, we've seen Energy play something very similar as an introduction to this mid lane Zillion. And we saw it in Korea yesterday, and it was very effective when run by KT. But you have to know the timing on it to make the most out of your advantage. And if you don't really start snowballing, there's not a lot of point to running it. Because using that chrono shift defensively just allows your enemy team to back off and then just re-engage when it's on cooldown, or just punish somebody and then turn it around. You have to play aggressively. Another missed Tempered Fate.
Secret had such a strong early game, but starting to miss those ultimates, and you really can't afford to do that.
Well, it's really hard to hit a Lulu, to be fair.
Yeah. But I mean, he had 2 targets there. I'm just saying I'm disappointed, that's all.
Yeah, Flawless actually takes the blue buff with the smite.
Yep.
SKT not committing, but there's nobody up here who can actually stop Duke. He's got the Herald buff, so just a little bit extra pushing power. And his CS lead has remained relatively static, but Sort continuously having to deal with him in the tier 2.
Well, they've got the wave cleared the tier 1 at least, so they can kind of hold that indefinitely, but while they do, what else is going to be going on?
And the pushing power, they have this Tristana with the explosive charge. Duke trying to set up barrels right here just as a way to chain into the tier 2 and try and punish this Poppy further. They've got to figure out a way, SBENU, to actually push back at this point or engage some sort of fight, because they can't just keep letting SKT farm up. That is not going to be their advantage. They're lining up around the Dragon once again.
The Dragon just came back up. SK Telecom and SBENU would each like their second. TP. Wow. Saucin coming back in really fast.
Gotta throw these bombs at them right now.
That's right. Those bombs. Well, they were going to explode. He needed to get rid of those. He'd already pulled the pins on those. SKT has a good angle on this Dragon.
Zillion's a really messed up old man. People usually mellow out when they're old, but Zillion just runs around throwing bombs at people.
Well, yeah, man, because he's crazy, because in his lore, he ended up at the top of this tower and he went to sleep and he came back. Oh, Tempered Fate, hit bang. SBENU can't really capitalize. Wolf with a nice defense there. Ults himself, Faker takes a bit of damage. And SKT, nice damage onto Saucin. They avoid losing their AD carry.
But what are they going to do? Poppy has to get out of lane right here. Sort can't even deal with Duke, so every time SKT goes up, it's Duke just continuing to ram this lane down, or this minion wave down the top lane, and slowly, ever so slowly, picking up a tiny bit of damage onto this top lane turret. Faker has to go bottom now just to clear out the wave, and they've got enough holding pressure, looks like, around the Dragon with the number of wards that they have to discourage SBENU from coming in here.
Yep.
Well, not yet. They do have the Rift Scuttler, so they're going to try and make the most of this, but Duke is in a much better position at TP.
Oh, they have to. They have to make a statement at some point, and this is the time to do it.
This really shouldn't be fighting around this drag.
No, they're going to try anyway. Dragon getting low. There's a knockup from Wolf. Dragon still alive for the moment. Flawless comes in and steals it. That does go to the second one for SBENU. Flawless low out of the fight. They get the kill on the bang right away, actually. And now SBENU coming back through the magical journey. Got to be careful. Faker picks up her return kill. SBENU on the run now. They'll be happy with just that Dragon. Oh, Nuclear very low. The auto from Faker nearly finishes him. Saucin now the new target. Wild Growth onto Faker. Ults himself to keep himself alive. They get the kill on the Saucin, and Faker with the double, making SBENU pay for that Dragon big time.
Wow, so okay, they go for the Dragon, but SBENU, it's like they're forgetting how to play this team composition.
Engie, what are you doing?
I don't know, taking a few bar autos, delaying a recall, so get more time, quality time in this mid lane. Even though Duke's TP was pretty late there, honestly, he did manage to drop the ult down to get the damage, and Bang caught out, but Faker picking up the big cleanup kills in the end for Luke's Echo. Let's take a look at how that happened, because Bang here he is going to get caught and just stunned straight into the wall. Bengi tries to go and save him, but he also gets hit by those bombs. Flawless low to start off that fight. Faker with the ignite picks it up, and then Saucin and Nuclear. Saucin has a flash rather, because the chrono shift was used onto Flawless, but Flawless, it timed out by the time that Flawless actually died. So because what happened was SKT switched targets immediately after seeing the chrono shift onto Flawless.
Yeah, but did you see how Flawless died?
Yeah, to Gromp.
Yeah, he ran up and attacked the Gromp and got killed by it. All right.
Or maybe he was trying to trigger the chrono shift himself once he saw the ignite on him. I don't know.
Could have been.
I didn't see how far away it was from expiring, but at the start of that fight, the chrono shift went down very quick because Flawless got chunked out.
Gromp, don't let them take me. You do it. Give me an honorable death. But it, Grompaku.
Grompaku.
Oh, thanks, Bengi. No, go away. Everyone's getting bombs. Wow, all right.
Waiting for the W from Poppy to be down.
Yeah, Duke dropped his ultimate. They're funneling SBENU into this choke here. Bengi coming in for the big knockup. Duke throwing down the barrels, and now Soar taken out very, very quickly. SBENU on the run. Magical Journey won't really get people too much closer, but Faker flanking from the side. Nice slow with the Glitter Lance onto Saucin. SBENU still disengaging. There's an E, another nice slow. Magical Journey. I think people are going to be taking that. Everyone's going on a Magical Journey. Nice Cosmic Binding on the other side.
More Glitter Lances.
SBENU, yeah, man. I mean, he's landing the E and then he's using that to get those long distance Glitter Lances to keep the chase up. Flashing there for that one. And Secret will go down. Flawless in trouble. Wolf comes in. They're going to dive it for that kill onto Nuclear. And wow, they're going deep. Double kill again for Faker.
SKT played that chase so well.
Oh, yeah.
They were so patient on the engage on that flank. They just corralled everybody inside their own jungle. And Faker taking the trip through the river around the Tri-Brush and just continuously landing these Glitter Lances. And look at the loot and Zeko damage coming through. They're going to take a nice Magical Journey here, but Flawless and Saucin very low. Bang cleans up one kill, and Faker's just sidestepping the Cosmic Binding on the other side.
Happy Penguins.
Yeah, Duke's going to set up some barrels, and then you see right here, Wolf using just the wraparound right there. He has doesn't have the Boots of Ability, but has the Alacrity Enchantment Swifties, so he just outpaces the competition. And then Faker and Bengi going deep to pick up the kill, so Faker rebounding now with 7 kills in this game.
Well, SK Telecom managed to grab the Baron during all of that as well. And should be most likely cruising to a pretty easy win at this point.
Yeah, pretty.
Do you need 2 rapid fire cannons on Tristana?
No, no, you don't.
I don't know about that.
That is a very interesting build from Tristana.
I get the impression that they don't stack.
Yeah,
but I guess it's worth looking up. SKT sieging this tier 2 down and bottom, and Saucin with a really nice defense.
I'm double checking that right now just
Yeah.
to make extra special sure.
I did not think they did. I mean, I guess you need 1 for each hand, arguably. But
2 cannons? I don't know. Tristan only has 1 cannon.
oh, big fight's going on right now. Faker with the Wild Growth right away on the Bang, trying to keep him alive. Eats a full culling, though. Bang manages to get out of the fight anyway. Bengi thrown against the wall by Soar, but Soar is going to go down very quickly. Oh, not quite yet. Escapes with like 0 health. Meanwhile, Saucin, well, no health left for Flawless in the meantime. And now SKT coming in with all these kills. Duke gets the kill onto Soar in the end, and SK Telecom should have another turn or 2 out of this.
Yeah, making it look easy. Even with the chrono shift onto Poppy, they sort of ignore Poppy until they actually have to kill her. Comes back up with over half HP, but still trying to make that work. It does actually end up falling.
This could be the end of a pretty quick game, depending on how aggressive SK Telecom wants to be with it. They've got the Baron, they've got both inhibitors down. They don't need to stick around. And with the death timers at 10 seconds, I'm kind of surprised they're going for it, but they are for now. Saucin knocked up again by Rek'Sai, still alive though. Bengi could have finished him off really easily, but decides not to. They're going to go for the Nexus instead. SBENU up, can they defend their Nexus? Does not look like it. And SK Telecom takes a quick game 2 to close out this series. very, very smoothly. GG.
Yeah, and in spite that huge deficit that they had from the level 1, giving up the 2 kills, blowing so many summoners, etc., measured play, and Duke is just left unconstrained in the top lane to get absolutely massive.
Yeah.
But even with the Gangplank, if we just look at the team play and the way that SKT was positioning on the map,